Well, Kohl's is closing some stores. And unlike the previous two store videos that I was doing that are closing, I've actually been to a Kohl's numerous of times because actually tomorrow I'm going to Kohl's to get some shoes, some new work shoes that I saw that are about like $39. Kohl's is actually a pretty cheap department store. A lot of people think that they're like Macy's or Nordstrom, but they're actually not cheap, but they're really reasonable. Cheap is kind of like a term that it's kind of a term that's outdated. But besides that, Kohl's is actually relatively inexpensive for most of their stuff. So I tried to research how many stores are going to be closing, but Kohl's really hasn't put that out. But they are closing some stores. I don't know where they're going to be located, but Kohl's is actually trying to become a smaller chain, like a smaller store. They're trying to become something like a one-stop shop, where on the side of their store they're going to start having like Aldi's and Sephora too. They're going to start having Sephoras inside of their stores. Most of their stores are actually going to have Sephoras inside. Actually, my local Kohl's is supposed to get a Sephora, which the JCPenney just lost Sephora, but it's now going to be called JCPenney Beauty. But besides that, Sephora is starting to go in Kohl's now that they partnered up with Kohl's. So it's probably going to boost up revenue. But besides that, Kohl's is starting to add to like their bigger locations, Aldi food markets. Some of their stores are starting to get Aldi food markets in their locations because Kohl's is trying to become something smaller. They don't want to become as big as they used to be. They're trying to downsize their stores so that they can make more money, I guess, or something. And also, you can find Kohl's with Amazon pickup centers as well as like drop-off centers inside of their stores as well, which is another benefit for Kohl's. But I rarely see anybody using it. But Kohl's really doesn't put out how many stores they're closing. They actually put out more stores that they're opening. So it's not that Kohl's is in financial problems. It's just they're closing, they always want to close a couple stores that are underperforming. It's kind of the same thing with Walmart, But Kohl's, a couple years ago, titled themselves as not being a department store anymore. And they wanted to be bought by the Simon Property Group that owns JCPenney now, but that never happened. But like I said, Kohl's is not saying how many stores are closing, but they are closing some stores. But nothing to worry about just yet. I mean, they're not saying they're going out of business or anything. But Kohl's is closing some stores.